And hello, whoops, wrong way around, that way around. Not that way, not this way, this way. Hi, how you doing? How's everybody doing? You alright? Feeling good? My throat's a little scratchy, I've just realised. I haven't spoken much today. Pretty silent all day. It's the first time I've ever tried to project this morning, this afternoon, today. What time is it? It's 2 p.m. I'm all out of whack. Went and saw the new Star Wars movie, of course. Of course, why wouldn't you? I liked it. We're not gonna delve into spoilers or anything today, but we can talk a little bit about it. So, the Picard, not Lego Picard actually. It's Mega Bloks Picard. I used to have a Mega Bloks USS Enterprise. I think it was the D, but this is all I have left of it because it disappeared in all this Lego stuff that got stolen many years ago. When I was moving, the moving truck got busted into and all my stuff got stolen. Almost everything I owned got stolen. I've told that story before, but that's where he's from. I've also got, speaking of Star Trek stuff, these guys, which did not come in a set, these are custom figs that I picked up at Dragon Con many years ago, I think. There was just a guy selling custom minifigs there. I've got a little bag full of them. I might show you some later. But yeah, I've got a little red shirt, little blue shirt, little science, and a dead guy. And of course, this is an official Lego one. One of my favorites. Let's drop! Which one should we do first? Chat room. Try blowing in the end of it. Hey, you tipsy. How you doing? So we're going to do Rebels first or First Order? Rebels or First Order? I wanted the, there's a new A-Wing. There's a new Rebels A-Wing released amongst these Skywalker sets, which is really, really good. Couldn't find it anywhere. Just sold out. Look, shopping for Lego 5 days before Christmas, it's not the adventure you think it is. I went to 4 different stores. I wound up having to go from Sydney all the way out to Bondi Junction to the actual Lego store. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I had to go all the way out to the Lego store itself. And they didn't even have the A-Wing. But they did have these. So I got these as compromise. Like, I think about $15 each, which was, you know, 30, 35 is what I'd budgeted anyway, so. My right or your right? Stage right or stage left? No. Mitchie says First Order. All right, we'll do First Order first. What order should we do them in? First Order. All right, let's just zoom out a little bit so we get a little bit of room to play with here. All right, about there should do it. All right, where's my knife? Yeah, who remembers the diluter? Like when I was doing unboxings more often on the YouTube. I had a special diluter knife. Didn't they used to glue these flaps down? I seem to remember having to tear the box open because these flaps were glued down. I guess it's just one piece of tape now. Or am I remembering wrong? Did they change that? Is that an environmentally friendly thing? Because the glue was made out of horses? Or is that just me misremembering how Lego... Because I haven't bought new Lego in, God, I don't know, 10 years at least. Sounds like a Borderlands weapon, the diluter. Yeah, doesn't it? You're right, they changed it about 5... Oh, they did change it 5 years ago. Oh, okay. I wonder what was behind that. I wonder if it was an effort to keep the boxes intact for the collector's sake, or whether it was something to do with the glue being less environmentally friendly than just a piece of tape. Remember you almost cutting yourself with a bunch of... I've never almost cut myself with this. I have snapped the tip off it when I was trying to use it as a pry once. I mean, I used to use it in a bit of a careless way in some videos just to trigger some people, but I've never managed to accidentally cut myself with it, I don't think. Alright, so how do you guys do this? Do you organize the parts first? Do you spread them out? Do you go full Adam Savage and get everything sort of super organized? I never did. I like to, I mean, with a kit this size, you can just sort of have it in a pile and sift through it. But let's just do a little bit of pre-organization here. Just for the sake of... so you can see what's in it, I guess. I don't know. Like it matters. Oh, hey. I didn't notice, but we actually did get a little crossbar lightsaber here as well. I've never had one of those before. Whoop. Uh-oh. Lost a piece in my lap already. Nope. Got it. Is that piece? Never seen one of those before. That's a new piece on me. Getting rid of glue may have been to make it easier for kids to open. Possibly. I mean, the whole thing about the Lego design is one of the original guidelines was the clutching power of 2 bricks has to be that which like a 3-year-old can pull apart. Just the engineering of that. Oh, I got 2 lightsaber hilts. I like that about the Star Wars. I remember that from the original Star Wars kits. You would almost always get 2 lightsaber hilts because they would rather give you too many pieces than not enough. I've never had a Lego kit that had insufficient pieces. They are extremely careful about that, and always have been. They know the precise weight of every bag that goes out across the assembly line. That's how they do it. You know, they've got machines. Well, these days they've got machines that, you know, put the parts into the bags and stuff, but they also weigh them on the way out, and they weigh the full kit on the way out. Then they weigh the box of the full kit on the way out. I forget what the exact measurement is, but it's a very fine tolerance to make sure that there's basically no possibility you'll ever get shortchanged on the number of pieces. Mega Blocks, however, where's my Picard? Mega Blocks, people. I don't know if I've ever had a Mega Blocks kit that had exactly the right pieces in it. I always had a little bit too many, or on a couple of occasions, 1 or 2, not enough. Mega Blocks don't care enough. They are a lot cheaper than Lego, though. I'll give them that. And they did get the Star Trek license. So, I wonder if you could still get that. The license is probably expired by now. Definitely our key style. Check everything's... yeah. Do it, make sure everything's here. I don't know if we have... yeah, Lego doesn't really give you a... oh, no, they do. Of course they do. I remember this. Now, you gotta remember, it's been a long time, but yeah. If you look in the back of the manual, it used to be on the back, I think, but now they put ads on the back. But yeah, they tell you exactly how many of each is supposed to be in there. And your little Lego service number here, in case something somehow goes wrong. What else we got in here? Let's have a look at this. Is the A-wing on there? I nearly said snow speeder. No, A-wing's not on there. Ali, are you watching? I know my mate Ali just bought that yesterday as well after she saw the movie. That's a $160 kit right there. I didn't have the budget for that. I'm very jealous. But no, I guess they don't have the A-wing on this one. Already see extra parts on back. Well, we have at least an extra lightsaber, and they usually give you extra clear 1-bys. The circle studs, as I used to call them. There's official names for all these parts, and I only know a few of them. How do you guys call the parts? I call these panels. That's a 4B1 panel. And of course, 2B2 round. Textured round, I suppose I would call that, because it's got a pattern on it. Actually, oh, here we go. I talked about this last weekend too, just before we start the build. This is to warm up. I've had this key ring on my keys. I've just pulled it off now because showing my keys on a live stream probably wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, because people can copy them off images and stuff. And it's a dumb thing to do, post pictures of your keys. But look how rounded that is. I've got an unmolested brick to put next to it. I bought this at the Lego store in... I don't know whether it was on the Universal Studios block or just outside of it, but it was while I was going to or from Universal Studios. It was a Lego store I went to. And one of the things I bought was the Lego keyring. That's been on my keyring for, oh man, I was 27 at the time, and I'm 42 now. Someone do the math on that. How many years is that? But that's been on my keyring the entire time, so it's all been rounded off. 4B1 plate is the other word I've heard these called as well. But yeah, the old 2x4 bricks, and they have these at the Lego store in Bondi as well. A whole bunch of different colors. They even have bronze and gold plated ones. It's not proper bronze and gold. It's paint. But I almost bought a gold one because it looks so cool. But yeah, that's how tough Lego is. Years and years and years and years rattling around on my keychain, and I bet you it still clutches too. I haven't tried this actually. Oh yeah, still fits perfectly. Like, fits like an actual brick. It's not loose or anything. Corners are all worn off. They're all rounded and soft. But it still fits. Both sides? Oh yeah, both sides. A little bit stiffer on the back. I mean, when you go on the back, it's always a little bit harder, isn't it? Not that I would know. But yeah. I don't know whether I want to get a new keychain and add it to this one or replace this one and just keep this as a keepsake somewhere, but it's one of my favorite things. Just a simple little Lego keychain. I've got little minifig keychains as well. I've really had a lot of Legos growing up, but I love Ninjago. I never got into Ninjago. The last gimmicky thing that Lego did that I bought a few of was the what were they called with the masks? Those big mech things? God, I can't even remember the name of them. But me and my mate used to do custom versions of the masks on those. We used to paint them up and sculpt them up and things like that. You can see them in a couple of my earliest Barnacles, yeah. A couple of my earliest Lego films, I used some Barnacle stuff. Okay, first up on the list. Actually, let me zoom out so you can see the book a bit better as well. There we go. We've got to go to Kylo first. Minifigures. Do we have a cape? We don't have a cape. Do they not do capes anymore, or does this guy just not come with a cape? Kylo should come with a cape. He's always wearing the cape. I wonder if I've got a spare black cape somewhere. And this is one of the main reasons I bought this kit, by the way. Because it has Rise of the Skywalker Kylo with his mended helmet. What is the name of that Japanese art where they repair porcelain with gold? It's an art where, and the thing becomes more interesting, more valuable because of its history shown in the repair. There's a special name the Japanese have for it. But that's kind of what his helmet has done in this movie. But instead of gold, it's this red sort of filler stuff, and it glows like molten metal in the movie on his helmet. It looks really awesome. I've never really loved his helmet that much, but in Skywalker, it looks awesome. Kintsu, that's the one. Yeah, so he's got kind of Kintsu'd his helmet, and it looks awesome. All right, let's do his lightsaber, and make sure we get this right way around. Hilt versus pommel. There we go. I wish they'd do more custom hilt pieces. All the lightsabers look exactly the same on the hilt from Lego. I've never seen a different one. 20 years ago, they looked like that. They look like that right now. There's a couple of really cool looking lightsabers in the movie. I'm not going to say which ones they are or who they belong to or anything, because that would be spoiler territory, but yeah, so there's a couple of lightsabers we get a good look at in there that pretty sweet. All right, so let's begin. They did a custom bent one for Dooku. Oh no, they didn't they? Yeah, I had one of those. I think that was the only time they've ever done that though, didn't they? At least that's the only one I'm aware of. Did forget about that though. You did right. If anyone speaks Japanese, by the way, I'm sorry if my pronunciation of Kintsu is terrible. I actually never heard the word said out loud, but I've been aware of the art for a very long time. Hang on a sec. Someone's trying to text me. That's just my mate. Only here. Alpha sides. I would do the splash. Oh wait, maybe my secondary stream. No. Does that button do it? There we go. That button does it. I'm going to rely on my secondary stream deck, which I haven't updated for the new layout properly. So I really hope my Stream Deck XL just isn't flat out dead. I hope it's just some weird bandwidth, USB bandwidth thing. My PC might need a reboot. I don't know. And this, you can go with this, and you can go with this. And I forgot what a physical pleasure Lego is. It's the tolerance they make this stuff to is like 2 microns or something ridiculous like that. Like some of the best engineering tolerances of any toy on the face of the planet outside of, you know, sophisticated electronics and stuff. Certainly the only toy when I was growing up built with that kind of tolerance. My He-Man action figures certainly weren't built with that kind of tolerance to their conjoined parts, for example. Something I always respected about Lego is that dedication to absolute quality. One of the worst things that ever happened in my childhood regarding Lego is, this was when I was a wee boy. I'd made a boat out of Lego and I took it into the bath. Played with it in the bath. And I set it by the fire to dry after the bath. Except I set it too close to the fire and all one side of it all bubbled up and melted. And fused together. Kintsugi, is it? Kintsukuri, Golden Repair. Okay, I have to wiki it. Yeah, you know what I mean anyway. Hey Cheezels, how you doing? Right, where am I? I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. It's dangerous. Alright, now we need 2 3-bys of the greys. I want to learn Japanese. Yeah, I wish I'd learned Japanese when I was younger. Much easier to learn languages when you're young. I did a term of it in high school because we had to do language courses. So we did 3 terms. First one was French, Japanese, and German. I remember almost nothing about French and Japanese. I remember the absolute basics of Japanese. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku. I can count to 5. Konnichiwa, sayonara, sumimasen, and that's about it. I wish I had known back then how much I would grow to love anime, because that was before even, you know, aside from Astro Boy in the 80s, I guess, and maybe Robotech and G-Force and shit like that. But I wasn't truly aware of where they came from back then, and if I were, I might have dedicated myself to learning Japanese. Oh well, I have tough enough time with English these days. I had to take Spanish in high school. Is that common in the US? I feel like it should, in many states I feel like it should be. Yeah, Spanish not as useful in Australia. We get very few Spaniards down here. That said, I did know a Spaniard a few years ago. Used to hang out with her in a photography group that I was part of when Google Groups was still a thing. She went back to Spain though. She was lovely. I had a bit of a crush on her. This is a piece I've never seen before. Can you focus, please? There you go. So you got a 2B1 plate on one side to a 2B socket, I guess, on the other side. I've never seen that before. When I was a kid, I used to hate this kind of specialist part because I felt like having something like that would reduce the creativity. Like when you got the big windows, big curved windows for shop fronts in some kits and some town kits, I thought that was just copping out. That wasn't in the spirit of Lego, I thought. But as I got older, I appreciated the specialist parts more and more. I could accept plain wings. And I could accept the hinged roof panels and things like that. But a lot of parts like these, for example, I felt like these were outside of the spirit of Lego. I eventually changed my mind, but yeah, back then I didn't like them much. I always felt like it was a bit cheap. It was cheating, making it too easy. Are we talking about the new Star Wars here, keeping it spoiler-free? We can talk about it, but keep it spoiler-free, because there may or may not be people chatting and or lurking that haven't seen the movie yet. So we can certainly chat about it, but keep in mind to be mindful of spoilers. I think we'll give it a couple of weekends before we start talking about spoilers on stream. And even then with some warnings. Took 3 years of Spanish because otherwise I might have had to take it in college anyway. Don't remember much of it at all. Yeah, the language isn't... I mean, Chinese and Japanese would be most useful these days in Australia. Get a few German tourists, but I don't know that many Germans that stick around. Right, let's see here. I need a 1b4 brick and 2. Wait, are they dark grey or light grey? Dark grey. That's the other thing I like about Lego as well. They take great care to match the colours on their print to the colours of the brick. That's another thing Mega Block never did. If you had a brick like this, you could never be sure from the manual whether it was light grey or dark grey, but as you can see, Lego matched the colour exactly in the print. So you're never confused about those shades. Italian would be useful in certain places in Australia too. Not so much in Sydney, but certainly in Melbourne and Hobart, there are a lot of Italians. I'll wait for Skywalker to hit Netflix before I delve the sequel trilogy. I think Skywalker's worth it on the big screen. Probably won't be seeing it till next year at this point. Well, good luck staying spoiler free on that, I guess. Don't like your chances. But yeah, I liked it. It's my favorite of this trilogy. I'm gonna have to see it a few more times before I can be sure of that, because right now I'm still sort of hyped from the thrill of seeing it for the first time. And sometimes you don't like movies as much on the rewatch. But we'll see. Right, where am I? I need now 2 of these. What do you guys call these bits? If we can focus, please, thank you. I call these lanterns, because when they were first used, they were very often used as headlights or lanterns of some kind on pirate islands and things like that. What do you guys call that one? And we need 2 light grey stud pieces. That's one thing about growing up with Lego when I was... a lot of these things kind of have common names in the community these days. But when I grew up, there was no such thing. The internet was... I mean, it existed, but, you know, nobody used it. No normal people used it. Certainly not people who play with Lego. But these days, there's huge Lego communities and AFOL groups and things like that. Well, that's another new one on me. Look at this little guy. Looks like a 1B stud, but actually has quite a little non-study pillar on top. What would you call that? What's the official name for that little fucker? Sorry, I shouldn't swear like that on a Lego stream, should I? One of those and one red one on the other side, apparently. Actually, that's another new piece on me. It's a 1B stud, but it doesn't have a stud piece on top. It's just flat. I've seen square variants of this for, you know, decades. I've never seen a round one. I like that. Right, and this goes square in the middle there. And that's another new piece I'm not familiar with. It's a beveled 2B1 plate. What's that printed on it? Tito gets an anonymous resub right there. Thank you very much, Anonymous. That brings T-Dog up to 7 months. Where is my other beveled 2B flat? We should put those so they're consistent. At the logo at the same end. Lego building is so calming and soothing to watch. It's calming and soothing to do. Actually, that's what I was about to say something like that, but I got distracted. I mean, this is Lego building. Lego playing with Legos as a grown-up is a legitimately recognized therapy. Like there are people with anxiety disorders and things like that that are prescribed, I guess, therapy time playing with Lego. And it I was saying before, it's physically pleasing the way Lego snaps together. That's right. I was talking about tolerances, and then I got distracted. It's a legitimate therapy. It's used worldwide, which is just one of those lovely, fantastic things, isn't it? All right, we need the 2B2 round textured, and 2 of the orange Studleys. And they go on the back as kind of rocket engines, I guess. Tell you what, there's some cool new ship designs in the new movie as well. And some redesigns of classics. Like we already saw the new X-Wings and things like that, but there's Y-Wings and A-Wings and stuff in the movie too, with all little slight tweaks to their design. I noticed something when I was... Here's a frustrating thing. Like I've got an Amazon gift card at the moment from the affiliate program. I was going to order some Lego, but apparently you can't order Lego from Amazon.com and ship it to Australia. They block it like Apple do to force you to buy locally, which is shit. Hate that. Otherwise I could buy some nice kits without being out of pocket. Right. I never knew what to call this bit either. This I never had a name for as a kid. What would you even call that? Separated nose cone? I don't know. I had a few pieces like that because I had a few airplane kits. Airplane kits was one of my favorite things. I had like 4 or 5 different kinds of airplanes, and they all came with variants of that in one way or another. The amount of zooming in people will be doing on that scene is going to be nuts. The scene with the various ships in it? Yeah. I guarantee you there's so many little Easter eggs. Because there's a scene that's very crowded with ships. And yeah, I guarantee you there's all sorts of Easter eggs in there. I did take a quick scan to see if I could find the ghost and the common things like that, or Firefly or something. But yeah, there's a few scenes that are quite densely packed that I think will be quite crowded with fun little Easter eggs for the pausers out there. Goes there. That goes there. That's a nice control panel too. When I was talking before about specialist pieces, how I didn't feel like they're in the spirit of Lego. One of my exceptions were the various kinds of control panels. Computer interfaces, screens, control panels, usually printed on these sloping blocks. I loved those. And this is one of my favorites I've ever seen. This little control panel for his ship here. I like that very much. Good buy Lego from EB Games now too. That's good to know. Haven't seen any. I went to EB Games today as I was shopping around, They don't have it in store, but I guess they just have it on the website. To me, specialty pieces just feel like they took away this stuff of putting on a sticker. Yeah, that was the other thing. I don't even know whether they do that at all anymore, but yeah, again, when I was growing up, you would sometimes get pieces with flat panels on them, door panels, for example. You get the 1B2 door panel kind of thing where it's flat on the bottom, but it hinges up. Don't know how to describe it. You know the one I'm talking about. It used to be on police car doors. In fact, maybe I could get you one. Give me a sec. Here we go. One of my surviving Lego pieces. Police car here. Whoops. Don't get the pieces mixed up. You'll confuse yourself. These things. This little door panels thing. Yeah. When you, in fact, is that? Oh, that is one. This is one with an actual sticker on it, not printing. As you can see, I didn't apply the sticker very well. I'm just noticing. On that close up, it's a little off kilter. I don't know whether they still do that with anything anymore, but a lot of the time when given a sticker like that, I would leave the sticker off because then I could use the part for whatever the hell I wanted. Yeah, this is one of those special spots I was talking about. The bonnet on this car. Focus, please. I'm going to have to swap this camera out for something that focuses a bit better. But yeah, these kind of bonnet pieces and stuff like that, I mean, they make the things look nice, but it always feels like cheating. Wait, what have I done here? No, that's the roof. There we go. And yeah, this curved piece here. I used to hate those. These days, though, I'm alright with it. Right, where was I on Kylo's ship here? Right, that presumably goes there. Not presumably, predictably. Was the word I was hunting for there. 4x bars, that's a good name for them, yeah. L bars. Or L plates, maybe. Mostly stickers these days on the big sets. Thank you for the host stickers. Right, wait a second. Have I used a dark grey piece where I should have used a light grey piece? Nope. Well, I might have done somewhere here actually. Dark grey. Dark grey. Light grey there. Is that where I've gone wrong? Yes, it is. That needs to be a light grey one. Wasn't paying enough attention. Right, where was I? Did that. Here we go. One of those. One of those. One of those. One of those. Snappity-doo. Sure you've been asked this a million times today, but did you like Rise of Skywalker? Actually, I've only been asked a couple of times, but yeah, I did. I mean, it's not as good as Empire, but it was a pretty satisfying emotional resolution. The first act and a half felt a bit rushed, and there was a lot of Deus Ex Machina stuff going on, trying to quickly patch up or retcon or explain away some of the stuff that happened in the middle movie that JJ didn't direct. And it worked. It worked, but it did feel kind of rushed, and there was a lot of bits in that earliest part of the movie where it's like, oh, that's lucky. That random person we've never seen before came along with just what they needed, just in time. That's lucky. I mean, maybe it was the Force, the will of the Force helping him out, but it did feel like pretty cheap writing in places. But by the time you got to the end of the movie, sort of the emotional ride of it was pretty satisfying. I mean, let's face it, Star Wars has never been the most subtle and elegant of written pieces anyway. They are just spaghetti westerns in space kind of thing. And to that end, I have little problem with how lazy and silly some of the writing is and some of the dialogue. The humor pretty much lands for the most part. Yeah, I was pretty satisfied with it. But then I went in with the reasonable expectations as well, unlike some people. Right. So we're done with that bit for now. That was the wrong button. Just try that one. Thank you for the sub right there. 4 months in a row. Star Wars has never had an overarching MCU plan. Well, yes and no. If you ask George Lucas, he says it has, but George Lucas is famously full of shit as well, so he may have had a softest of ideas. But I mean, even the first movie has changed a lot. You listen to Mark Hamill in interviews where he's talking about the scenes he auditioned with and stuff like that, and they have little to do with the movie. Let's see here. So we need these little corner louvers. And one of those guys. So that goes there. And this one goes there. Sophisticated apparatus. And we need 2 of the 6B wings. Are these 6Bs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they are 6B. The world of sound is governed by Rogue One and Mandalorian have been the best Disney Star Wars stuff so far. I agree. Of the modern Star Wars stuff, Rogue One and Mandalorian hang together the strongest for me. I know some people don't like Rogue One, and I never figure out why. Some people seem to have issues with it just being there to fill in plot holes or something, but how is that a problem? I think it was, I mean, the opening of that movie is pretty rushed, where they just keep bouncing from planet to planet to planet. That could have been done a little smoother and a little bit smarter. But as a movie, as a ride, as an adventure, as a story, I think it's pretty emotionally impactful. And as an explanation of why the Death Star was so easy to blow up, I liked it. Because it was deliberate. It wasn't catastrophic incompetence, it was sabotage. Makes a lot more sense. Alright, turn him over. And I need a 3D wing piece, which goes this one. Goes there. There. Yeah. Okay. Over again. Oh, this is where those little weird pieces come in that I've never seen before. Apparently this goes in here. Is this some sort of spring-loaded mechanism? I feel like it might be some sort of spring-loaded firing mechanism. Oh, I bet you it is. I bet you if we put a stud in here. Oh, yep, okay. It's an actual little mechanical firing device for the cannons. That's kind of nice. So that goes there. Okay, I think we got one of the wing pieces done. That might be my favorite little. I mean, that beats out some of the Wii manual stuff. Remember, like 10 years ago, I did that video making fun of the warning signs in the Wii manual, the Nintendo Wii. That one might be my favorite one yet. I want that on a T-shirt and a hat and a bumper sticker. Oh, that's beautiful. Alright. Now, this goes there to hold that all together. We need a 2D1 grate piece right there. And one of our little red lights right there. Cool is this? And this goes really facing down. Okay. These are one of my favorite pieces Lego did as well. These little locking hinge pieces. I made a lot of use of those when I was a kid. And when I was a grown-up, actually. Like my Lego Optimus Prime that I designed at one point. I made a full-size Optimus Prime, like scaled to the actual toy, that actually transformed. And I made a mini Optimus Prime as well. And I used a lot of those hinge parts. Okay, so now we do the opposite wing. Doop-a-doop. Same process, but in mirrored. And that way. Lego team will not be held responsible for any eye loss. Yeah, do not look into the Lego laser beam with remaining good eye. Phoenix, how you doing there? Loving that you're doing Lego? Me too. It has been literally years since I've built some Lego stuff. Doop. Bum, 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 boom, doo, doo, doo. Like so. Now the cannon's going. Where's that other cannon? It's a fairly ingenious little mechanism, this thing, actually. It's taking full advantage of the clutching power of Lego. Very, very clever. Okay. Great piece. Red plate. And we're done on that. So they fold up. Let's put the... This is why they give you extra green ones, by the way, because you're guaranteed to lose at least 4 of these firing them off around the place. Is that warning again? Oh man, I'm definitely going to have to high-res, find a high-res version that'll scan it in or something. And I wonder if Lego would send their lawyers after me if I put that up on one of those t-shirt places. Maybe just long enough to order myself one. This is just telling us, yeah, there's a warning again. Wait, is he? Nope. I thought they added a tier this one, but the tier's in all of them. Alright, looks like we're done. We have a few extra pieces here too. More extra pieces that I'm used to seeing in a Lego kit. So we got an extra red light, which that's pretty common. 3 extra green studs. A little extra grey one. Not sure why they gave us that one. That one's pretty common as well. We got a little extra firing mechanism. I guess because that's a moving part, there's a chance you could wear them out if you use them too much. Spare lightsaber hilt, that's pretty common. And spare, whatever the hell we decided to call this thing. Let's put those back in a bag, just so I can keep track of which spares are for which kit. I'm so used to the studs being up as much as possible. Yeah, that's something... I mean, the wings are designed so the studs are out, because this ship does, it flies like that, basically. So I guess it was more important to have that detail on the outside than the in. I don't know. Alright, let's put little Ben. Little Ben Solo. There we go. Focus, please. In your own time, camera. Seriously, focus. There we go. I mean, it's not the most accurate rendition of... Does Ren's ship have a name, by the way? I haven't never noticed whether his little impy ship has a name with the big wings on it. It's pretty cute, though. I like it. I especially love the helmet. With the what do we call it? Kinsenuke? I've already forgotten what the word is. His repaired helmet. Just Kylo Ren's shuttle? That sounds sensible enough. I mean, it is a bit similar to the old Imperial shuttle, isn't it? With the big foldy wings. How do we feel about the latest? All right, can we? I guess it's not really a spoiler for the Mandalorian, the most recent episode, the last episode of the first season, where there's a TIE fighter, and instead of landing on the edges of its wings, like you've seen TIE fighters do in every other example of them, the TIE fighter wings fold in half. Well, I guess they fold that way, and it lands flat. I guess it's a logical evolution of that design, but it kind of bothered me. The other thing that bothers me about TIE fighters is the in and out. Well, the pilot gets in and out of the top of the capsule in the middle, right? But there's no ladders, no climbing points. No one's ever shown climbing in and out of them. Seems like it might be just catastrophically awkward to get in and out of one of those things. All right, Kylo Ren's shuttle done. Haven't seen episode 7 yet. Well, watch it before you get spoiled on it because it's pretty good. Outlander tie, is that what it's called? Hope they make a set for it. Yeah, but I was that's where I was going with this. I hope they make a Lego rendition of that with the folding wings on it. Well, are they even wings on that thing? I mean, they look like they're solar panels, but they're not actual solar panels because that would be silly. Old TIE fighters have still ankles for long jumps down after a flight. Yeah, that's what's special about the TIE fighter pilot's uniform. Reinforced ankles on those.